A historic chapter could be written in Texas history Friday with closing arguments in the impeachment trial against suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton happening, and then that evening possibly deciding his political fate with a verdict from the Senate. Now, this hasn't happened to a statewide official in more than 100 years. Before adjourning today, there was a large group of lawyers talking to Dan Patrick, who's the judge in this case, Tony Busby for the defense, Rusty Hardin and his team, both of their teams going back and forth at length tonight around the 6 o'clock hour. Now, it's unknown officially what they were talking about, possibly talking about rebuttal witnesses who could be called after closing arguments. They both each have an hour to do that, and also possibly getting in order the charge to the jury, which are the senators. In some cases, both sides like to hash that out the day before the jury gets a case, and so there was some delay at the end of today before adjournment. The Senate supposed to come back at 9 a.m. They are known to not start on time, but 2 hours of closing arguments, 1 hour for each side, and 2 hours of rebuttal for each side. So we'll have to see if indeed tomorrow will be historic in Texas.
Okay, Stephen, let me walk us both through some of these things that people are probably have on their minds. We started hearing this yesterday, and then again today, that some members wanted Paxton, if he's found guilty, to never be able to hold public office in Texas again statewide. So managers, impeachment managers initially wanted that if he's convicted, he will never be allowed to run again for statewide office, and then they withdrew that today. Do we know what's been going on with this situation?
There's a lot of lawyering going on, but in plain, basically yesterday when emotions were kind of high, the House manager said, let's make it one vote. Initially, the rule said that there will be a vote to see if he's convicted on any articles, and if you convict, then the next vote will be, are you barring him from ever running for public office again? They wanted to combine that. It got withdrawn today. It's unknown why, but keep in mind this could create some political cover for some Republicans who are being pressured, because they could vote to convict tomorrow, but also say, I did not vote to ban him from running again. If people still want him to hold office, he can run again and win again. And so I think that actually helps the prosecution. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out when deliberations happen.
All right, that is interesting. Okay, so let's talk about what happened today. As in criminal cases, defense gets their chance to put something on, and oftentimes defense attorneys, if they don't think prosecutors put on a good case, they put on 1 or 2 witnesses and they say, we're out, we're done. That's kind of what happened with Paxton's attorneys today, just a handful of witnesses. What was your read on the impact those witnesses had on the senators?
Overall, not much, and I don't say that in a biased way at all. The defense did their job. They put on witnesses that they thought were strong for 2 reasons why I don't think it was as impactful as it could have been. One, looking at those senators, they're used to sitting around listening to long talks. You could definitely see impeachment trial fatigue today. They were kind of antsy in their chairs and just ready to get to closing arguments, and it was some thought that we might get to closing arguments tonight. Another reason why it might not have stuck was because the more fiery, tense moments really happened in the days prior. Even if they were prosecution witnesses, the defense still got their jabs in. These witnesses basically kind of just gave information, and there wasn't too much drama today.
Got it. We haven't seen Paxton in court since the first day when his attorneys made his plea for him. Is he going to be there tomorrow, do you think?
It's unknown if Ken Paxton will be there tomorrow. I don't think he will be there on Friday. He will have to be there when a verdict is reached and read, so he can know his fate. But it's unknown if he will be there. I don't think so. He is taking advantage of this moment and raising funds, campaign fundraising, following former President Donald Trump sending a social media post saying that he supports Ken Paxton and called this whole impeachment process a sham.